Hello everyone, welcome back to the second part of the tutorial, which is creating and modifying um, text layers in Photoshop. So again, I have my Photoshop open, and I'm going to create my web banner size as 640 by 100. In here, since we're going to be text layers, what you want to first do is click on this right here, or your text tool. When you do that, this whole panel in here actually changes. This is going to be your text property panel. And here you'll see your font styles, the size of your font. So in here, this is actually disabled because Bauhaus 93 is already pretty thick. But if you want to see that enabled, you just click on Arial and you'll see the different types of size of the Arial. I'm going to go ahead and use Bauhaus for now. This is your font size, your smoothness, crispness factor, if you want to left align, right align, or whatnot. And in here is your warping tool. I'm going to show you guys that later. Unfortunately, I accidentally created a layer in here, so I'm going to go ahead and drop that in the trash bin. So the banner I want to create for this tutorial is actually a surfing banner, primarily because I can create waves later on with shapes. So, but in this part of the tutorial, we're only doing text, so I'm going to go ahead and write some text on the banner. And here I'm going to go ahead and actually use the word surfing. Unfortunately, you see it created the surfing layer in here, but it looks like it's invisible because if you look in here, I had white as my color. So I'm going to go ahead and change that. Something that's appropriate to surfing, which would be blue. Alright, so there you go. I have my blue surfing there. I can, by clicking on this, I can have my panel, my text formatting panel. I can go ahead and use my warping tool and change the warp of my text. I can do it this way, or I can have it set up this way. In our case, I actually want to use a wave, but the wave, I actually want to make the wave look more like that. That looks good. Vertical distortion is basically your z-axis. You can make it look like it's flying towards you, but we're going to keep it at 0. Alright, then now I'm gonna show you guys how to create a text box area for Photoshop. So in order to do that, you just drag your mouse with left clicking. And in this case, I don't want to make it too big, so I'm gonna make this 14 and probably make this Arial. And then in here, it changes to black. And here I'm gonna go ahead and type surfing is a fun activity. Go out and surf today. Alright, so left clicking on that allows me to deselect this. And here what I can do is I can go ahead and center this if I wanted to, or right align it. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it centered and make it right in here. And on my surfing text, as a shortcut, as I mentioned before, well, first, if you really want to change it the proper way, you can just go to layer styles, but that's too many steps for me, so I just double click on this layer and it pulls up my layer style. Then now I can do a drop shadow or an outer glow if I wanted to. But actually what I want to do is I want to create a stroke around the word surfing. black is too much of a strong color for us, so we want to make it kind of light. So we're going to go ahead and probably use a lighter color. I think that would be perfect for us. Actually, make it a little more, I guess, yellowish. We're gonna stick with our orangey yellow stripe. Let's see if drop shadow looks good. Click OK on this. See if drop shadow looks good. It still looks good. I can probably change the distance of my drop shadow like that. And I can close this down. Now I have my surfing text in there. Looks kind of cool. And probably I want to change the opacity. Opacity is basically how clear you want, or how transparent you want your text layer to be. So I can make it almost invisible. Now, just to showcase what that actually do, so if I go ahead and actually move this over here and make my surfing layer above this, so it's overlapping this thing right here, and change my opacity, you'll notice that the words for surfing is a fun activity actually sees through. So that's what opacity does on this layer. But I'm going to go ahead and keep that 100%. And there you go, a simple tutorial on text formatting. Our next tutorial is going to be about shapes in Photoshop, so you can go ahead and create your different shapes. You can even create your icons if you wanted to.